So these are the guineas having their breakfast. And that's a white, that's pearl gray, the black and white one. And we have lavender, which is that one way back there. They're really pretty. The black and white, I guess, is the most, noticeably cool color, but the lavender is really pretty too. And we do have one pied around here. She was born here last year. We had a lot of them, but I didn't have a good integrating system last year, so we lost quite a few babies that we put in here. They're brutal, the older ones. So I'll come up with a better system if I'm going to have hatching out guineas this year. I might. So this is Gary. Gary and Gladys have been having eggs, laying eggs. Gladys, that's her. I have 2 eggs so far. I'm going to incubate them, but I was waiting for some more. And I was going to incubate them and see if they're fertile. That is Fred right here, the man of the hour. Poor Freddie. Jasper is our chocolate turkey, which is, she's right there eating. There she is. So this is Queenie. You see the difference? Jasper's really small and she's as old as Queenie, maybe a few months younger. Our beautiful boy, Fred. Somebody else is gobbling. That's the other boy. So I don't know what kind of problems that's going to create this spring when it's actually mating season, but I could hear Fred drumming, so. But I thought it was a girl, was born last year, last summer. So I don't know. I don't want any fighting. That's why we got rid of our other one we had. But that's a blue slate, very beautiful. He's lavender. Huh, Freddie? You getting a bath, Peanut? Gary thinks he's in charge of this pool. Gladys, get out of there. That's for the chickens. The waterfowl really love... usually Gary doesn't like to share his pool with the ducks. That's Pickles on the back trying to get in. Hi, girls. These are 2 girls in the front. Are you going to let them get in there? I put this for them because Gladys was in that one. But you can see how Peanut's trying to run off the girls. So, both of my Muscovies I ended up getting last spring. That's these guys. Are very beautiful. But they're both boys. Yeah. Huh. He's chocolate. It's really pretty. And then he's blue. The Muscovies, if you don't know, don't quack. They hiss. Like he's hissing at me. Wagging his tail. But they're both boys, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I really like them. I'd hate to get rid of them because they're really pretty. But I do have a lot of other boys around here. I hate to burst your bubbles. I might keep them and just try to find Muscovy girls. I got Gary behind me. So the other duck underneath, the black and white one, that's also a boy that was born here last spring. He's a black Swiss. Swedish, black Swedish. There he is. He's got that beautiful green neck when the light hits him just right. But they have their hanging feeder underneath. I try to give them a little bit of shelter underneath, but we'll see. So this is also, now that it's not actually unthawing, but some of the water is, and the ducks love to be out over here. They're trying to get some of the natural water source that comes through here. And that is a pond that we're going to install, but the ducks love to go underneath it as kind of shelter. So we just leave it for them. They enjoy it. And they're not bothering us. You can see they bebop around through here. But they do like to lay their eggs under here. Let's see if anyone did. Nope. It's nice and dry. I think that's why they go under. My husband props it up so they can go under. You guys can go under there. Just checking. Just checking, girls. So these are blue Swedish. Some of them are new, like the one in the back was from my daughter's flock. They're more blue, less white on them, so I can tell. So these are the two that are the same age. He's exactly the same age as that one. That's Timmy, we call him. Sometimes I have to give Timmy meds because he gets a cold, but he can stay as long as he can. Here comes Gary. And that's our black turkey, black Swedish turkey. That's a buff. And that, oh, she's gonna, come on, Jasper. That's Jasper, our chocolate turkey. She's gonna display for us. Isn't she beautiful? I love it that she's a mini. So all these guys, she's from last year. He is this, come. That's how you know you got a Tom. Come. You are not a Tom, I know. You're a pretty girl. So I'll probably hatch out turkeys this year too, just to add a little bit. I'd love to get some Muscovy girls to add to for these boys, because they really are pretty. And I don't think I'm going to get rid of anybody that lives here. That's our other boy. The white one is Winnie. She's a white duck. Winnie's really pretty. That's Queenie. These guys will love it in the summer. Right now it's awfully. That's Winona. She's see, and there's the, so she's a white Wyandotte and she's a gold Wyandotte. I have a rooster. I think that's the rooster, and I have a girl too around here somewhere. Oh, she's underneath eating. But I want to go check for eggs. You think Gladys made another one? He didn't care. As you can see, I have somebody watching us while we're out here. While I'm out feeding the birds, I have Diesel and Cheska's out here watching their mom. Watching their mama. Hi, Diesel. Hi, Chesky. We decided to do food today. It's like Ludo loves it. Come on, buddy. Here you go, try it so they can find it. Oh, sweetheart, it's right there. By your feet. There we go, good. Ludo caught on really fast. A little shrimp. I'm trying to get it so they all can get in here. Somebody I know is taking more than her space. Oh, my hairy. They just seem ready for it. Mom giving them up the bread. So this is just their formula, and there's kibbles that have been soaking for hours. So they're still like shapes, but they are very soft. What do you think? You want to try one? Yeah, the Briggs. Oh, I can get it in the mouth, Briggy. Oh my God, you get real food. Yay. So, it's on. Come on. Oh my goodness, look at that belly. I want to see if I can get like a little bit of kibbles in there for them. I hear them slurping it down, so I guess they're ready. They know what to do. Doing very good. They sucked up most of the formula already. So this is the same thing I give them in a bottle. It's, as you guys know, goat milk based. It's got a few other ingredients that we add to give these guys everything good for them. The funny thing is they'll always push to one side. It looks like Gino's got it made over there. He's got nobody on. Look at, he's losing his footing now. That's why I put a towel down so they can get some footing and they're not sliding around. It looks like Baloo's actually eating it. Good job, Baloo. So let's see. See, Mom has the same kibbles right there. I just put a kibble in a Brig's mouth. He said, wow, this is real food. Look at you, Mr. Man, Ludo. What do you think? You want a kibble? Sure, she said, I'll take that right out with Jiffy. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I won't take it. Oh, you so silly girl. Raven. She's chomping on it. Look at this guy. That's a good thing with this, that they all can get in there and eat as much as they want. Ludo, I had a hard time with the bottle. I'd really have to work with him, and then he'd finally get it in the end and really like go to town. But by doing this, everybody's getting whatever they want, as much as they want. So they're big kids now. Big kids now. Look at that belly. She was little when she was born too, but she definitely isn't anymore. Just little Ludo and I'd say Gino are the smaller ones. But Briggs has lost a lot of weight from when he was sick, but he's on the rebound. So I don't think there's a huge difference, maybe a pound. But I haven't really checked them, like weighed them. I've just been so busy making sure that they're eating. What do you think, Ludo? You like one of them, Mr. Man? Oh, yeah. Oh, he's biting my finger, trying to get it. Oh, Ludo, you silly little boy. Makes me happy to see that Ludo's eating this, because he was the one I always had to kind of fight with to get to take the bottle. And he likes this. I can actually feel his teeth biting my finger. Oh, you precious thing. You precious boy. I did have to loosen his collar, too. I think we're going to have to be upgraded on our collars soon. These are the baby ones. I have the same color and bigger puppy ones. Look at that belly. Blue's getting in there. So, with only a litter of 6, this one saucer should be enough, like feeding-wise. When we have litters of 12, we have multiple saucers that we can put out, but I have a feeling that they wouldn't need it at this point. This is the first feeding. If I find them to be little porkers, then I could put out a couple saucers. But honestly, what I've seen is you can put out multiple saucers, and what they'll do is they'll all cram on one saucer, eat that, and then run to the next one. Because Ebby normally does have big litters. Ellie had big litters too. So we have like quite a few of them. And I think it's safe to say that Hannibal has got his share. Everybody looks pretty good. So it makes me happy that they all have full bellies. Mom has been feeding them, but you can see how they're eating. They're hungry. And she knows because she's been trying to give them her sliced bread. Look at Baloo. He's so freaking cute. They all are. So this is Ebby's last litter too, so I'm trying to enjoy them. What's not to enjoy with little puppies? You want to come over here, little man? He's got his little white tip tail is kind of phasing out a little bit. You can kind of still see it though. Oh, he's eating. He's actually going after the dog food. Good boy, Ludo. So this will definitely pick up the pounds, and they're still going to town with these kibbles. So I'm happy I decided I wanted to wait to try to regulate their bellies. We figured the medication and bottle feeding, but I could feel everybody's teeth, and when I come in to feed, they're always hungry. You know, they're like little starving. Hi, baby girl. He's so freaking cute. I get all her teeth, top and bottom are in. So I said, you know, they need it, so I'm going to give it to them. So they may have a little bit of loose poop. That happens when you introduce something new, but we're only really introducing kibbles because they've already been introduced with the formula. It's the same exact thing, so just the kibbles. But that will also fill up their bellies. So I really will see a weight gain. Look at Baloo going to town. I honestly didn't think they would eat this much. They almost ate all the kibbles. And I just thought, oh, well, you know, I'll put, this was 2 cups. So 2 cups is a good amount for these little turkeys. Look at that belly. Hannibal, have you had enough, Mr. Man? So while they're right here, I'm just going to change their bedding so they come in and they're on dry. Because they have been potty training, but we do have accidents. It's hard, you know. First week potty training. So you can see they have little accidents here and there. So I'll just change out the bedding while they're grazing over that. And I thought I'd be leaving Ebby some. So what I normally do, if there's leftovers, I leave it for Mom. But that tray's almost picked dry. They ate their belly's worth. So we now have started, look at Briggs, he's going around getting himself some. And it's funny because of the kibble slide and he's just following it. So we will start feeding him, I'm thinking 3 to 4 times a day, because Mom will start phasing out. She already has been, like, I catch her sleeping in the closet, but she comes out and nurses them. And a lot of times you can tell when they nurse and they just sit and nurse and they don't really lay down. It's because they're uncomfortable. These babies have teeth and it hurts. So this is their first feeding and all is great. It's Francine here at Devoted Danes. Where to begin? So as you guys know, our last video was we had some puppies sick and they were about 2 weeks old. Our puppies are now 4 weeks old, so jumping ahead, week 3, everybody was fine. All the boys came off their meds and were doing great, gaining weight, and as you saw in the last video, they were all eating well. And then a couple days ago, I noticed Mr. Briggs straining to go potty. So I was like, I wonder if being on the medications made him constipated. Normally it gives him diarrhea, but every puppy's different and every situation's different. So I monitored him and he was still nursing off Mom and I was still supplementing a bottle because, you know, the boys did lose some weight being sick and I was just trying to give him a little boost and he was doing great with that too. I did notice he wasn't as active as the other puppies, but he was still active. He'd get up and when Mom came in, he wanted to see her and eat with her. And after I noticed he had stopped pooping, I tried doing a water enema on him with no change, no success. He just started getting really bloated looking and I was like, God, he must be really constipated. That's what I thought. So after that, I did call the vet and they did squeeze us in, thank God. They were going to squeeze us in and then they got a cancellation, so we actually got an early appointment and I brought him in and I was like, you know, this is what I did. He still was alert the ride there. He's just he's such a sweet little puppy. And so she said okay. She evaluated him, she checked him and there was no poop in the canal, so she's like, well, let's take some x-rays and see what's going on. Maybe he's just really constipated. And that's what I honestly thought was going on. So they took little Briggs back and did some x-rays and then she came back and worst case scenario, it wasn't constipation. She did some printouts for me so I could see, and I will put a picture here just kind of so people that aren't aware can be aware of what it is. So he basically has bloat. What she thought is his intestines somehow got twisted and the x-rays just showed nothing but gas, like tons and tons of gas. And in one of the x-ray views, you can really just see how like bloated he was. And so I said, okay, so what do we do now? And she said, well, maybe there's a couple, they don't do that kind of surgery there. What she told me is that his intestines had got twisted somehow, which is basically the same thing like bloat. And she said, I can call around and see if there's somebody willing to take him on and perform a surgery. I said, okay, well, let's do that. Mind you, he just turned 4 weeks old on Thursday. They all did. So he's a little over 4 weeks old. So we called Manchester and found out he's too little for that kind of surgery. So it's the end of the week. And If anybody's had surgery and of stomach surgery and they blow you up, you know how painful that kind of gas is. And this little body had so much gas. I've never seen anything like it. So what she said normally happens is these kind of puppies will just pass, and people really don't know why unless they do some sort of a puppy autopsy on them. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it right now. And we'll show that that's what they had. He was able to pee, and that's all he was doing. He wasn't pooping. So he hadn't pooped for 2 days by the time he had made it into the vet. And I didn't realize that, you know, something was deadly wrong. I just thought, oh gosh, I gotta do what I can do. I get him a water enema. I always give him Benny back because that helps regulate the belly. And he had been sick 2 weeks before then. So I thought, oh, maybe he's just got it back, or he's constipated. I honestly thought he was constipated. So after the calls, we found out that there's really nothing they can do at that age but monitor him, and it just didn't seem like a logical thing to put Mr. Briggs through. To prolong Mr. Briggs' suffering is what I saw, and me and my vet talked it over, and she said, you know, if you take him home, he could get septic, and that's what happens, and it's painful, and I didn't want him to be in pain. Of course, I did not go there knowing that I would have to make a huge ultimate decision with this little guy that I've grown to love because I've spent so much time nurturing this little guy. Make him be healthy again, and he was healthy. You just saw in the video him eating his first meal and how great he looked. So somewhere in that week time, things happened, and I've never heard of bloat in a 4-week-old puppy. But that's what it is. The x-rays show it. So I ultimately had to make the decision to end his suffering, and that's what I did. It pretty much killed me and my vet. It's really nothing that somebody wants to do. I didn't want to do that. I didn't go there thinking that that was what was wrong with him. So we lost Mr. Briggs this week, and I have never had so much loss in puppies as I have this time, and this I couldn't avoid it. There's nothing you can do for that on a little guy of his age. He's considered a neonatal because he's only 4 weeks old. So with the weekend approaching, I thought it would be better to make that decision and let him go. So I did, and I brought him home. He's home here, and he will be buried where all our little puppies that don't make it go. I mean, normally when you whelp puppies, you can anticipate to lose a puppy at birth. That does happen. It's happened quite a bit, and it's sad. But when you have a puppy that's 2 weeks or 4 weeks old or 7 weeks old and they pass, it's devastating. It really is, because he was on the rebound. He was doing great. I had spent so much time watching him, monitoring him, and if I wasn't in here monitoring him, I was going over our surveillance watching him to see if he pooped. And it just never happened. So, I mean, the more you breed and have puppies, the more you see, the more things you experience. This is our first. We've never even had bloat in our big dogs, thank God. I never thought in my wildest dreams that bloated belly meant he had bloat, because I've never heard of it at his age. So then I had to make the call to his family. He already had a family waiting for him, as do all our puppies. And they didn't even get to meet him, but they're vested in him. They get to see him. They get videos of him. You know, they love him just like I do. And I mean, that's hard too, to have to tell the family that, you know, we went in for something minor, I thought, and ended up something very major. The rest of the puppies are doing great. The other two that were sick, like I said, were over it by week 3. They were about 2 weeks when they got it, and they were on meds for about a week, and they're totally fine. So these guys are all 4 weeks old. They are pretty good at potty training. They're all using their potty area. They're all on meals now. Raven, our little girl of the bunch, wakes me up whenever she sees fit to eat. She runs to the end of her whelping box where there's a cutout where mom goes in, and she just sits there and bellers until someone brings her food. Where they have teeth and claws, nails, even though I've trimmed their nails, mom really is weaning them off. So they're eating more, and they're eating really well for me. They all were. That's why this was such a huge shock. So here's the crew. He's just waiting for something to eat. He's our littlest guy. He was one of the ones that caught a cold, but he's totally fine now. He actually loves the food the most, I would say. So this is Ludo. This is Hannibal. His little name slipped my mind. He's doing very good too. As you can see, Gino's putting on the weight, and Mr. Blue, he's our biggest guy. Last time I weighed him was 7 pounds, but I'm sure he weighs more than that now. And that's Raven in the back. She's the one that decides when I'm going to get my butt in here to feed her. She's such a funny kid, funny puppy. What's up, Gino? It's not time to eat yet. Oh, I know. But you can see how their bellies are like sticking out, but they're flat. Mr. Briggs' belly was just so swollen even when he laid down. And, you know, I'm going to take this as a learning lesson of what to look out for if I ever have it again. I pray I don't. I don't mind getting things that are, you know, fixable with medication and something like that, but to get dealt something that I can't control is devastating. Let's get a look at all these little faces. Hannibal's sweet. Yes, you're a sweet boy. Got a little white over there. This is Gino, little belly. They all love to eat. These guys all eat really well. And it's warm in here. You can see they're all flopped out. A little face. Wrinkly lips. Gino's got a little water eye. They were crying a little bit, and it's not quite time for lunch, so I put Mama's water in here, and they each had a little sip of that. That's the first time they had water. You can see Mr. Ludo has it on his head. That's water. He really dumped his head in. So they tided him over until lunch. So that was what's been going on here this week. I mean, I thought we were doing fine, and life throws you a curveball. I wish things were different, but this is what happened, and